Welcome to our March Lead and Star Teach Me Tuesday training thing, all the T's. And I'm excited to do these because, you know, you guys have specific learning needs, if you will. I don't know how else to put it, but you're in a specific place in your journey in Scentsy that others aren't in. So I want to give essentials and certifieds what they need if they are not looking to grow a business. And I want to give you guys what you need, and then leaders what they need, like directors what they need. So that's why we broke it down this way. And I hope you find some goodness in it. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what, if anything, do you find scary about recruiting? And you can either raise your hand to talk or unmute or put it in the chat or whatever you want to do. But what do you find scary about recruiting?
Approaching them.
Approaching them. Okay. Just from like knowing how to approach them.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk to them about the Scentsy products, but trying to approach them into becoming a team member is the hardest thing for me.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else? Yes, Leslie.
Should I press the raise hand button?
No, you can just talk.
Okay. I lack the confidence in myself as a leader to have the conversation with people, even though like I do have the conversation, just not as much as I should be doing it. And I know this, and it's me, and it's all in my head, my lack of self-confidence in myself as a leader. Like I said, just my systems when it comes to leadership, not having enough time to give, like I feel like I should be able to give to any new team members because I don't have enough time to give to my current team. So I have a lot of things that are holding me back from growing, even though I know that's what I need to be doing. So
that's a valid.
That was a good one.
Worry.
Oh, thank you. I rehearsed it in front of the mirror.
We know how great of a leader you are, so I'm calling BS. But you have to have the confidence.
Well, like
right?
We're
going to actually talk about that.
It's in my head, and
it's one of my bullet points tonight. Okay, so there are some scary-ish things, and I will say, I mean, it is uncomfortable sometimes to have that conversation before. Hi, there you are. You got your video working. But we're going to try to make it unscary tonight and try to focus on the questions surrounding recruiting. And recruiting is different than sponsoring. This is how I look at it. Recruiting is the act of asking someone and getting them to be a part of your team, right? Sponsoring is what you do after they join, how you coach them, how you bring them along, how you start them. So we're talking about recruiting tonight, and another time we'll talk about sponsoring because you need to do that as well. So the first question is who should we recruit? Everybody, because everybody has a nose and everybody has a need for Scentsy. But what I'm saying is like everybody is an open market, right? There's nobody that's not somebody you should ask. Nobody's off limits. Like President of the United States, you could ask him too. Maybe he'd join. I don't know. But like every single person is capable of running a Scentsy business and capable of doing it well. And that's sort of one of the beauties of this is that you were not born with all the things that you need to be a Scentsy consultant. You learn them. So all of the things that you need are either given to you by Scentsy or they're learned through all the trainings that you do, etc. Right? So it's cool because every single one of us has the same abilities to reach the same levels as everyone else in the world. So that's why we should ask anybody. Leslie, do you want to tell your story now, or do you want to tell it?
That's up to you. You tell me
You're
what,
glitching a lot, so I don't know if you can
when.
fix your Wi-Fi at all. I don't know. We're missing like a couple words here and there. I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi or not. But you can do it later if you're eating.
Okay, let me try. Yeah, I'll try. Well, it's fine. Let me try to fix my Wi-Fi first, and then I'll see.
Okay, I'll keep going.
Okay.
So the next thing that you have to do with that who is make a list. Make a list of everybody you know. If you don't have your list of 100 yet, or your lead list, or whatever you like to call it, start making that list. Anybody that you can think of and anyone attached to that person. So I share cool videos in Leap to Lead about a different way to do it. Like if you start with one person, it's almost like a bubble. I forget what it's called. It's some kind of brainstorming bubble effect. But like you think of maybe my sister-in-law, okay, Becky. Then you think of everyone she surrounds herself with that you know or know of, like her mom, her sisters, kids, her best friend that I know, you know. And then you go to the next person, and then you think about all the people surrounding that person that you know. And before you know it, you have a list of 100 and then some. So the first thing you need to do is make a list, because you want to be prepared to talk to these people. And you know what? The first thing we should have talked about is why. You guys are here as leads and stars. So you're here knowing that you want to continue growing your team, but do you know why you need to? Like, you have 1 or 2 or 3 recruits in your team already, or in your frontline already, but why should you have more? And if you've had a coaching call with me recently, you know why, but I'm just going to share real quick the compensation plan to sort of point out why. And this is going to be a good sort of rehash of how you get paid and why you might not be paid at title. So let's look at this real quick. This is the big compensation plan, but it's sort of big. So let's break it down to something smaller. So if you're a lead consultant, to be paid at title each month, you yourself need 500 PRV. You need 1 active frontline, and active means 200 in that month. And then and frontline means the person directly under you that joined your team directly. And then you and everyone in your downline, frontline and their frontline, and so on, needs to reach 1,000 GWV, which is group wholesale volume. Okay. That group wholesale volume is 75% of the retail volume, because it's retail volume. So all of your PRVs added together minus your commissions. Does that make sense? Does anybody have a question about that? Okay. And if you're star consultant, then you need 500 PRV. You need 2 active frontline consultants, and you have to have all together with all of your team and you 2,500 GWV. Okay. So as you can see, to grow or to get paid at title, the more frontline over here that you have, the easier it is to get to this middle number, right? So that answers the question to me of why you would want to recruit. And it doesn't stop at lead, star. You just keep going. I mean, you just heard Leslie, she's a director. So you know that she's still growing. I'm a superstar director. Just because I'm a superstar director doesn't mean that I need to stop. I need to be recruiting every single month. I need to be growing my network so that I can have more people to ask. Okay, so what? Sometimes we don't even know like what we're sharing and the sort of the how of them joining happens, right? You sometimes have the conversation with somebody and they say yes, and then you're like, okay, so now what do I do? But I want to reverse that and have you feel really confident going into the conversation, because if you're not confident, we're going to say in a minute, they're going to feel that you're not confident, and they're probably going to say, why would I join her team? So the what is basically how they can join. Right now, this month, there are 3 different kits they can get. They could get a $25 kit that has just a mini warmer, some one bar, some testers, and a few catalogs, but they still get the website, they still get all the training, and they still get you as their sponsor. Then there's the $59 host kit, which is personally my favorite, because they can earn partial or all the kit just by having a qualifying party. So I usually set my hostess up with this party. She qualifies for 200 or more. And then I say, oh, now you have the option to get the kit with your credit. And then we can talk about that another time, because that's a whole nother list of things that you have to do. But just so you know, there's a walkthrough in the consultant and the workstation that tells you exactly how to do that if you don't know. But I would encourage you to find it out now so that you have that ammunition and you have that knowledge in your head. And then we have the big one, the big kit that's always available for $99. There's also the option, because there's lots of people out there that used to sell Scentsy that don't sell anymore. So if they've been gone at least 3 months, they can come back. So if you ask them to come back and they make you their sponsor, then that's another frontline that you have. Yes, they can't get all those shooting stars and sensational start goal things, but that adds to your GWV and your active frontline. So that's the what. Okay, so the when is now, yesterday, like as soon as possible, start talking to these people, because we have this $25 kit for the rest of the month. And if money is an issue, then that's a great option for people. If money's not an option, then the $99 kit's also available always. But when is now? Where can you find potential recruits? Everywhere, anywhere, online, in your favorite chat group, at your local Starbucks, at your kids' schools, everywhere, anywhere, baseball field, in line at a grocery store. I mean, seriously, anywhere. And then the big one is the how. So how are we going to do this? And this is the part that, like Tracy said, gets her stumped every time. Like, how am I going to take the leap and make it not scary? So first of all, I'm going to tell you how not to recruit, because the 2 things I think people do, well, there's a few things, but one thing is you try to sell the business. You say, I want you to join my team. I'd love for you to join my team. I'd love for you to join Scentsy. I don't like that word, the join thing. I like, I want you to come do this with me. I think you would be great doing what I do. I think you would be great sharing Scentsy. But people join because they like you usually, or they join a person. They don't really join a business. So sort of get the selling your business out of your head and just go for the authentic personal relationship. And I want you to do this with me. And then the other one is, don't try to recruit with your arrows pointing in. And if you've never heard our Arrows Out trainings, definitely look up Orville's keynote address about Arrows Out, because there's a lot of good stuff there. And it's like the basis and foundation of our entire organization. But what we mean by that is, if you're thinking arrows in, you're thinking about what them joining your team is going to do for you. And if you reverse that and think about and speak about what Scentsy is going to do for them and what's in it for them, then your whole perspective changes, because now you are giving, it's like a gift. You're giving them something. You're giving them the opportunity, the gift of this beautiful journey that they can have with Scentsy. And why wouldn't you give it to somebody that you like, right? So go back and think about why you joined. First of all, think about why you actually joined Scentsy and not some other opportunity, because I'm sure there's lots of opportunities out there. Maybe somebody else asked you to do another direct sales company, or there was another job that you turned down and did Scentsy instead, or something. Think about why you joined Scentsy first, and then think about why you joined at all. Like, what motivated you to actually join Scentsy? Is it money? Was it to get more friends? Was it for travel? Was it for getting out of the house? I don't know. There's lots of different reasons people join. Was it because you just love the product? That's why a lot of people join. So then when you know that those two answers for yourself, look for people who have that same reason for joining you, your business, Scentsy, and your opportunity. So personally, I just love the products. So I need to be looking for people who likewise love the products, right? I chose Scentsy because scent and fragrance is like it's not my life, but it's always filling my home. I use it in my day-to-day living. It just made sense for me to make sense. So I'm looking all the time for people who absolutely love the product. So customers of mine are like the first people I think of. But then after I've reached all of them, I have to think outside the box and say, okay, there's other reasons that people join. And that's the next thing. You have to talk to people about what they want. You can't, if one of my customers came in and was, carrying a Gucci bag and driving a Tesla, or I don't know what kind of car, and just can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars every single month with me. My question for her when I'm offering the opportunity is, have you ever thought about making some extra money? Because that would be stupid. That's not the right question for her. I'm not talking to her about the problem she has. Her problem might be, or her desire or her reason might be that she really needs to get out of the house because she doesn't have anything to do and she's bored, or she would like to have a whole bunch of group of crazy friends like us. And, that's perfect. So that's what I mean about making sure you're asking the right questions of the right people. All right, let me see if I missed anything here. Another thing is, what if they say no? I know a lot of you fear that rejection, or fear the no because it's something that feels uncomfortable. But really ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen if they say no? Is your business going to die? No, you got one person who said no. So what you can do is, we've all taught ourselves to do, well, a lot of us have taught ourselves to do this. In my head, if they say no, I just flip the switch and I make it say, not right now. And so if you're keeping a list, if you're keeping track, and that person beside that person says no, I write not right now instead of no. And then it's like a mindset thing. It's not, they haven't rejected me. I haven't rejected Scentsy forever. It's just not this moment. Okay. Here's where I'm going to talk about confidence. People want to feel secure in what they're getting ready, the leap that they're getting ready to take. So if you come to them and go, yeah, I really need somebody on my team this month. I made a goal of one, and I don't know who else, but do you think you might want to join? You might want to be my one. Or if you are never posting about your opportunity or the product or anything, and then all of a sudden you're like turning it on one day and post and reach out to them personally, and they haven't heard from you in months and months, and they've gotten product from you, and all of a sudden you're asking them the question, do you want to join my team? They're going to be like, what's she need, right? Because you are not making them confident that you're going to be around, for one, that you're going to stick around. You're not going to be there for them, because where have you been in the past 3 months when they needed some more wax? And you're not exuding that confidence that they should, maybe they do want to join, but they might go join somebody else because you're not giving them that confidence. And confidence and knowing all the answers are two different things. If they came to you and said, you know, is there a way to join for $50 or whatever, and you didn't know, you could say, you know what, we have all kinds of join specials that happen. Let me check and see what our current one is, and I'll get right back to you. So as long as you're not like, I don't know, yeah, maybe I can ask my director, you need to just tell her, I'm going to find the answer for you. So that's what I mean by coming across confident. And it's a learned skill. It's not like we're all born confident. I remember my very first video training that I ever did. And I recorded that thing, I don't know, 50 times and edited it. And I sent it to Lindsay. It was for Lindsay. She was putting together it was like a snippet. It was like maybe 5-minute little thing. And I recorded it so many times, and she goes, this is great, but it's very practiced. Like, well, but I was not confident. And now I go live all the time and train and stand on stage at SFR. And I mean, it's something that's built. Thank you. It's something that's built like years and years, but I would have never been this person if I hadn't had Scentsy help me to be this way. So it's really an awesome thing. All right. So 3 things that great recruiters do. One of them, lots of conversations. It takes statistically 11 conversations to get 1 new recruit. So if you do the math and you want 2 new recruits a month, then that means at the very least, you're having 22 conversations a month. And these are conversations, not just one question, do you want to join? Because we're not saying that, right? These are back and forth conversations and just getting to know somebody and asking them, have you ever thought about doing what I'm doing? And then that list that we were talking about, that's like the first thing that you should be doing, is so important here, because if you've got 22 conversations to have every single month or more, then that list is somewhere that you're going to keep scratching through, adding to, scratching through, adding to. Number 2 things that great recruiters do. They tailor their conversation to the needs of the audience. That's what I sort of got off on a tangent earlier. You got to figure out what Scentsy is going to do for them that they need or want, and talk about that. Hone in on that when you have the conversation. Number 3 is really important. Only answer their question. Do not word vomit on these people. That, I bet you, is the thing that talks somebody out of joining the most. And I do it. I get so excited and so passionate. And if I hear like a little bit of yes in their voice, I'm like, and then we can go on trips together, and then you can meet all my friends. And that's not what they need right now, right then. The question was, maybe she said, do you get paid commission, or do you buy it at wholesale and sell at retail? And I'm like going off on a tangent about the commission and how you can promote this, and showing her the compensation plan and all that. Nope, that's not what she asked. All you're going to say is, we get paid commission on every sale we make. That's it. That's all you need, because you always want them to come back for more, right? And you need them to sort of guide you in how you're going to talk to them. And goes along with being a great listener. Those two things I just said, tailoring it to their conversation and answering their question. You need to be listening. If you're only thinking about what you're going to say next, you're missing everything that you need, because they are going to give you what they need in that conversation. If that first question is, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And then you listen for what they say. They're not going to say no. They're going to give you probably a reason why they never would, or probably a reason why they're not going to. And you're going to listen for that problem that Scentsy can solve for them, because every single person has a problem that Scentsy is the answer to. I promise. And whether they take you up on it or not is their choice, but they're never going to have that choice if you don't ask them, right? And I can tell you, if they figure out that Scentsy is going to be the answer to their problem and you haven't asked them, they're going to join somebody else's team. And then you're going to be sitting there going, well, why didn't they join my team? And I'm going to say, because you didn't ask them. That wasn't one of your 11 conversations. So I want Leslie to sort of tell what she sort of challenged herself to do during spring break, and see what she has to tell us. And then I have a couple ideas for you guys.
Okay. Am I glitchy still?
Tiny bit.
Ugh, I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on.
You're wearing my shirt.
I am. I am. I don't want to be glitchy though.
Okay.
Is
We can hear you. You're just not matching your words.
okay. But if it sounds fine, I just don't. I look weird.
Yeah, I'll stop you if we
Okay,
can't understand you.
Okay. I will talk slowly. So, the way my brain works is that I have to have lists everywhere, like planners, lists, and know what's going to happen from one point to the next. I'm extremely OCD. And if I don't have like something written down that says, ask so and so about signing up, or share the $25 opportunity with X number of people, I'm not going to do it. That's just how my brain works. And I know that's not the best way to work my business, but so I was standing in the bathroom at my mom's house over spring break, and I'm like, shit, I've really been slacking on promoting this join special, because I don't like to just post and pray. I am a firm believer on one-on-one communication, following up with a customer, and not relying on social media to make my sales. So why would I expect that to work with somebody signing up for Scentsy if I know it's not going to work with getting a sale? I need to have that personal conversation, and I think it means more. So I was like, I've got to reach out to people. How can I do this? It was March 12th, I think. Yeah, it was Sunday, March 12th, because I was getting ready for my niece's birthday party. And I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to pick random people in my phone, and I'm going to just ask them and tell them what's going on. But I'm not just going to do one, I'm going to do 12, so that I can say that I did one question every day for the month of March. And ideally, that would be my daily goal as a consultant, like for my business, to ask one person every day. But again, not confident in myself or in my system yet, so I don't do that. But I'm like, I can at least do it for the $25 special and put it out there. So I did. And I stood in the bathroom, and as I was getting ready, I sent a text message to random people, not random, but like these people have at least purchased from me, and I have been communicating with them regularly. And this is what I said. I said, hey, Scentsy's got a $25 join special this month. Would you be interested in taking advantage, or know anyone who would be? That was it. I sent that. I have not heard back from everybody, but I got a lot of no's, and no, not for me. Thanks for thinking of me. No, I'm good. But and like nobody was like, no, you for asking me that. How dare you? I'm never buying from you again. They were like, no, I'm good. And it was not scary. And in the way my brain works is if I can take off the pressure of, oh my God, they've got to join, I've got to get somebody, and kind of make it like a task that I can mark off, then it's easier. So I can say, all right, I did that. Cool. What's next? And if they say yes, yay, that's even better. But so that could be your challenge. What's today, the 21st? Maybe you start tomorrow and you ask 22 people and then ask another person every day for the rest of the month. You can double it. I don't care what you do what you need to do. But I very highly recommend reaching out to somebody, keeping it short and simple, and doing it one-on-one rather than making a post. So
Yes.
that's it.
Thank you. That was perfect.
You're welcome.
And, I also want you to know that each time you do it, it gets easier. I promise.
Mhm.
Because you weren't
Yeah,
born
I don't
knowing how
fear
to ask people to
asking.
join.
Like, yeah, the asking doesn't bother me. I don't do it because of my lack of self-confidence in what happens next. Like I could ask 20 people right now and not have a fear of that. I don't care if they say yes or no. It's
Right.
literally what comes next for me. And that's where my
So
hesitation
that's what
comes
we're
from.
going to train on next month so that everybody's confident in their sponsoring. How's that?
Yeah. Let's do
Another
it.
thing that I wanted to talk about real quick is that the people that you're asking believe probably that they could never do it. That's probably their instant thought. So while they're thinking that they can't do it, you have to believe for them until they believe in themselves. So by you telling them one thing that they would be good at as a Scentsy consultant, that would like spark belief enough that they might say, ask another question and keep going with conversation. So what would it sound like in a conversation? Maybe, I think you would be an amazing Scentsy consultant. You do amazing TikTok videos. That would make an amazing Scentsy consultant. Or you have so many friends. That is the making for an amazing Scentsy consultant. Or, I mean, we could make lists. Maybe that would be helpful. Maybe everybody could think of like some things that that you could say that is a great trait for a Scentsy consultant. Pretty much everything. Anything positive and good. Yes.
And that's a really good idea, because even if, like, let's say I've been told before, like, oh my God, you would make an amazing like preschool teacher, kindergarten teacher.
Right.
And I take that as a huge compliment, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm not going to do that. I did want to do that in a past life, but no, I'm not going to do that. But thank you. So how cool would it be for somebody to hear that from you? Like, oh my God, you'd be great at this.
Yeah.
Even if they don't take you up on it, that's a great compliment that you're giving them.
That is how I start pretty much every conversation I have about the opportunity, is I tell them why I think they would be good at it. So if you have a hard time asking the question, lead with the compliment, right? That's a good way to have any conversation with somebody in general. So if you focus on the trait that you pick out for that person, maybe on your list, this is a great idea. On your list of 100, write just one word that will spark your memory beside that person of the trait that you think would be an awesome trait for them as a Scentsy consultant. Talker, outgoing, home decor, something, that'll just spark your memory, so that when you sit down with that list, you're like, okay, I'm going to compliment her on how good her house smells. That's a good one. But your belief in them is going to make them feel at least a little bit better. And then you just answer their questions, or you calm their fears, or you say, you know, I felt like that at the beginning too, but so and so is really good at training or teaching me how to do this, and I have an amazing network of friends, and we get together all the time on Zoom, and if you can do that, you'll learn that way, or you can do videos on your own, but just answer the question. Don't keep going, right? Because that's my problem sometimes. So one thing I want you to do is at least make a post if you haven't already. And this is, just take off on this. We've got $25 joint special. Take a $20 and a $5 bill if you have it. I don't usually have cash, but I'm hoping I can scrounge that up, and take a selfie with it and say something about, what can you think of that you can do with this money? And get people to just respond to you, comment below, you know, don't say anything about Scentsy. And then go back to those people and say, did you know, $25 can get you this many coffees, or whatever they answered, but it can also get you the opportunity of a lifetime with Scentsy, and give them that compliment. And I mean, maybe that's where you start. Maybe just start with a social media post, but definitely start having those conversations. See how many you're going to challenge yourself to do by the end of March. Maybe, do you have a letterboard warmer? Make a sign on the letterboard, $25. I don't know. I'm really bad at the letterboard verbiage. Chelsea has one. What do you have?
Last year when we had our $25 joint special, I made a post that said, what was the last thing you spent $25 on? I'll go first. And you like post a screenshot or a picture of whatever the last thing was that you spent $25 on. And I had so much interaction on that. It was insane.
Did you do that on just your regular profile, or on a group?
On a regular profile.
Cool.
So it definitely helped, because people want to tell you like what they're buying, what they're shopping for. When do they get to talk about that? Especially like us moms who are literally always grocery shopping. We don't
Right.
get to talk about that.
Yeah.
So that's another fun way.
I love that. I love that. Anybody else? All right. I want you guys to either put in the chat or speak out loud how many people you're going to talk to by the end of the month. Leslie wants to go first.
So this also not.
I'm just kidding.
I'll say that later, but I haven't thought about that. I mean, 31, yeah, for 31 days of the month, but ideally more. Find a real life picture of the kit. And if you share that with your customers and say, hey, all of this is $25. This warmer alone is normally $25. Let's get you signed up so that you can start earning 20 to 25% back on all of your Scentsy purchases. And then just let the conversation go from there. So, but that kit alone, come on.
I love it.
Why not?
And I've done a this or that post with real life picture of the kit and the warmer. And I had a bite yesterday on my VIP group, and I reached out to her and she's like, I'm thinking about it. So I have a maybe hanging out there just from that post. So if I use what you said, somebody was talking about it in one of our Marco Polos, that they used the real life picture and got somebody interested. I can't remember who it was, but that real life picture of the kit, if you don't have it, it's in Slack. And I think it's in Facebook too. Oh, wait, somebody chatted. Somebody put a number in the chat. Oh yeah, 31. I'm committing. Anybody else want to share?
Well, considering that I'm still in treatment, I'm actually taking 50 catalogs up to the cancer center, because I found out a couple of nurses up there are interested. So I might get new customers, but then I may be able to possibly get a couple of new recruits.
Yes. Nurses make great Scentsy consultants.
So I'm hoping 5, 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna start small.
Amazing. Awesome. All right. Any questions or anything you want to share before we log off? Yes, Vanessa.
I have something
Wait,
to,
are you Mackenzie or Vanessa?
I'm
Tonight
Vanessa.
she's Mackenzie.
Yeah, tonight I'm my
Okay.
daughter.
We should have a meeting where we all wear wigs and change our names.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I would
I love
love
it.
that. 31.
Yeah,
Just
better go.
piggybacking off of what Tracy said, my daughter has ulcerative colitis. So every 2 months she goes to the hospital for infusions. And when we were there last week, or last month, I don't know if she had a buddy with her or how it came up, but since he came up, and I told her, she was like, oh, can you tell me about it? So I told her I would bring her some samples when I come back next month. So it was really good. And there's just in that center alone, there's like 25 to 30 nurses. So
Yeah.
it was
And
really
go
Yeah,
with
well,
the
my-
mindset. Go with the mindset that you're going to have a conversation about the opportunity. And it always can back off to like having a party in the infusion center or whatever.
that's true. Yeah.
Or just them
There's also a bunch of parents there.
lumping together some orders into a party or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, well, my last treatment is on the 30th.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing.
It's been a long trip.
Chelsea, you were going to say something?
yes. So when I first joined in 2019, I asked my best friend to do it with me, and she's always just been a flat out no. So I asked and asked, and whenever it came up, I kept asking, and she was like, no, it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. Well, we have not been able to, like, we've been playing phone tag for months because our schedules have just not allowed us to have time for each other. And finally we caught up the other day, and the first thing she said to me was, oh my gosh, I see you just having the time of your life with all your Scentsy friends on, social media and da, da, da. And I said, well, they're not just Scentsy friends. Like, they're,
Your real life.
almost up there where you're at, girl. Like, they're some of my best friends. And she was like, yeah, you look like you're having a ball. I said, I really am. Like, the pictures, you have no idea the stuff we do and the memories we make. And I said, you could be right there with us for every single one of those moments. And she's like, I'm seriously thinking about it. And I was just like,
see, not right now.
So just posting your Scentsy life, just sharing that out is it. You never know who's watching. I had no idea that she was even considering it or, looking at things. Like, she didn't like any of those posts. She didn't comment on any of those posts. She's like a Facebook scroller. She doesn't like or comment or anything. She's a busy working woman. She runs a store. So like, I had no idea that she was even watching.
So cool.
So always share. The other thing that I wanted to add was, you had challenged us last meeting to get involved in a community. And I kind of felt like an old lady, but what a lot of people don't know about me is I love gaming when I have the chance to. And my daughter got me a Disney game for Christmas. So I really started playing it the past, couple of months. And
What game? Like, what kind of gaming are you
it's
talking
called
about?
Disney Dreamlight Valley, and you can play it on like PC or Nintendo or whatever. Of
You nerd.
I'm such a nerd.
I
So
love it.
real nerdy, and I was stuck on a quest, and so I went on YouTube to look up how to get through it, and I found this girl that I just fell in love with her persona and everything, and she goes live and she plays the game, and you can watch her play, and she gives tips and everything. And she happened to be live. So I got on, I started chatting and asking questions, and everybody was so welcoming and amazing. And she was like, hey, you should join my little forum on, what is it called? Hold on, I
Discord.
have it open. What did you say, Bonnie?
Discord.
Yes, that's it. How'd you
I
know?
have a nerdy gamer son.
Oh my God. Okay, so of course, what I told Alicia, she was like, yeah, it's kind of like a big thing. Like, so it's like Slack, but gaming, and it's really cool. And we got to share our like get to know us, and I put Scentsy in there as one of my things. And so many people were just like, oh my God, I love Scentsy. I'll let you know if I need something. Like, yeah, all because I just was like, you know what? I might feel like this lady and like I don't belong here, but I share a love of something with these people and I'm just going to do this. And I was
Exactly.
scared the whole time. I'm still scared.
I'm so proud of you.
Just dive in and do it scared.
I love it. Yay. Thanks for sharing that.
Why this is, I don't know if you want me to get into this or not, but I'm just, why are we so afraid to talk about it?
I think like for me
I don't
personally,
get it.
whenever I'm super, well, you guys who, you know, chat with me on Marco Polo, you've heard it from me, but when I get passionate about something, like I get like I got red in the face, giddy, sweaty, like I get really excited, right? It comes out in all forms in me. And for a lot of people that is too much, and they like look at me like they're scared shitless or like I'm crazy or whatever the case is, you know. And I don't ever want to make somebody feel uncomfortable. I hate feeling uncomfortable, so then I initially get like all anxious about, you know, oh my God, maybe I'm scaring this person off, maybe or whatever. It's like a fear of like how I'm making them feel, when really they're the only person in charge of that. Like it's not, doesn't have to do with me. And I'm
Bingo, on the
really
nose.
to
Exactly.
rewire my brain to understand that and believe that in those moments, because time and time again, it's been proven that we shouldn't be afraid, that like people are very welcoming. People want to know, people love the excitement, but for whatever reason, we just get like, I don't know.
Yeah. And I touched on it earlier, but I think Scentsy is one of the best things ever. I mean, I think
Mhm.
y'all think that too, right?
Oh,
So
I do.
if we like people, why wouldn't we want to share that best thing ever that we found with them, right? So I mean, I've met some of my best friends through Scentsy. I've gone on some of the best trips with Scentsy. Why wouldn't I want to share that with people? And it's almost like if we don't, we're closing ourselves off and making ourselves this little clique. You don't belong here. This is just for us. And we have to be more open-minded and say, I want you to have this because I like you and you should know about it. It's just an offering, you know, I'm just going to offer it to you. You can say no, it's your choice. So if we think about it that way, I think it makes it a little bit easier.
I think one of the hardest things for us really is when people are asking what we do. It's like, okay, well, I do this and then I do this because, you know, I work for the state, but then I also do Scentsy. And then it's, you know, you find that transition to go into that conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the hardest things to do, because once you start talking about it, sometimes you feel that offset from them that, you know, enough's enough.
Yeah, I think,
you know, you get that block.
yeah, I think you have to just be like, just answer the question, right?
Yeah.
Instead of word vomiting, maybe it's just you need to just think about a really short little snippet that you can say automatically when somebody
Yeah.
asks you what you do. I'm a fragrance specialist that likes to help other people find their passion and do what they love to do. So
Yeah.
that's my snippet, usually something like that. So just think of it and practice it and make it easy to say.
When Gordon and I were first dating, you know, I was meeting all the new friends and stuff, and I was like super nervous about them being judgy, of course. But so they would ask me what I do, and I said, well, my boring job is I'm an insurance agent, but my fun job, my true passion is I'm a Scentsy consultant, where, like you said, fragrance specialist, and I also specialize in home decor. And then they're
Yes.
like, oh, huh?
Yes, I love that. My boring job.
So
I call them
you
fake
can
job
tell, like,
and real job.
that's where you know,
You could say like, I
yes.
work for a company that sells home fragrance for Disney. Yeah.
Oh,
You want to join? We're hiring. $25.
That's another
There you go.
good catchphrase you could put on your letterboard. Hiring $25 to have all this or something.
I think I saw one and I was trying to find it and then I got distracted.
You down with it?
What did you
All
say?
right. What?
What did
I'm
you say?
gonna stop the recording unless anybody else has anything to share.
I said, you down with ADD?
You
Uh,
know me.